spoke of in Matthew 6. So you've got to understand. You've got to understand the teachings, or you cannot know how to appropriate the power. See, a lot of people just want to sit on the floor and go home and have it come. But then you're not going to know when it come or when it didn't come. You're not going to know what you're supposed to do, what happens, or how you do it. You don't know. You just sit there and you have this power, and it's just like getting a car with 8 cylinders and overdrive, and it has all of this kind, and not knowing how to work it. All you know is I put it in gear, and I say, I didn't know it had overdrive. I didn't know it had a rear defroster. I didn't know that it had power. I didn't know any of this stuff. Because you never read, you never listened to the one who made it explain to you how this works. This is a tremendous power. And, it's very easy for you, and most people do it. And I get letters from people every day. I'm so stacked up with letters of people who say, have you ever read the course in this? Or have you ever read Joe Blow's study of this? Or have you ever read, and I just like to say, have you ever read Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
And what he said? Why? I mean, the people that are writing to tell you to read these various books, they got this from someplace. Why go to them? Why not go right to the source? This is the source of it. I mean, you go in these bookstores, there's billions of books. But there is one source. The umbilical cord from heaven is through Krishna, Buddha, and Jesus Christ. So the emphasis that many in Kabbalistic magic have put is many in charismatic circles, and that is ceremonial magic with all of its vestments and colors and all of this stuff. And you see it today in many of the churches, the rituals of the incense and the colored vestments. It's all very beautiful, and it all has something to say. Ritual is very, very important in Kabbalah magic. And every prayer and every invocation and every movement is done in a special way. You see it now today in the Catholic Church. They take the book off of here, and they put it over here. You say, well, and then the guy will come and take the book off of here, and he'll put it over here. He said, what is he taking? Why doesn't he leave it? I don't know what this is all. But there's a reason. There's a reason. But nobody tells anybody the reason. See, all I know is the guy takes the book from here, puts it over here, reads up here, takes up the book, brings it over here. What's the matter with here? Why is it that? But there's a reason. Why does the guy get the smoke? What is this with the water sprinkling and all of this stuff? All of these things, beautiful. But that should be the last part of it. It's no good unless, first of all, you understand what's being done. What's the purpose of it? What's the reason for all of this? You got to understand something. In Exodus 25 to 27, don't go there. God gives detailed instructions to Moses on the making of candlesticks and vestments and oil and incense. It's got to be this, it's got to be that, it's got to be the other thing. So ritual is basically God-given. It's called mitzvah. It's a command. Mitzvah. That's a command. But why? Because its only purpose is that you begin to understand. First you understand the purpose, then you can act it out in this way to put it into your physical mind. To embrace the teachings with your whole being. See? But before you ever get involved in any kind of a ritual, you should understand. I bet you all of you, I know I have, dunked in water, got baptized. You don't know what the heck you were doing. You know what I mean. You were convinced that water, it could have been polluted, but you were convinced that there is a God somewhere that is not going to let you off the hook unless somebody dunks you in water. Think of it. Just think as an adult.
That's so dumb.
Would there be a God somewhere that is not going to be nice to you unless you get dipped in water? It's a ritual. But what's the ritual mean? Water means truth. The air means meditation. The earth is your mind. You take the earth, your mind, you put it in the water, which is the truth. When you come out of the water, which is the truth, you come up into the air, which is the third stage of consciousness, which is no thought. Then you can be touched by the fire, which is the spirit. Now you could go and get baptized. Because you are really baptized in here. You can never be baptized in real water. You are baptized in water, the second stage of the mind. That's where baptism takes place. So when you bring your mind into the truth, the teachings, you then rise above that truth, out of the water, out of the truth, into the third stage of consciousness, which is air. Now you're in meditation, and you can be touched by the fourth stage, which is fire or spirit. Now you've been baptized. So now if we want to have a great ritual and go down to the creek and do it, you'll understand it. It can be very nice. It can be very meaningful because you're acting something out in your body.